The Conjuring, Last Rites is set to continue the story of the Conjuring universe, arguably one of the most successful cinematic universes ever, and details from the newest trailer suggest a truly harrowing death could occur in the new film. Last Rites, directed by Michael Chavez, who helmed the previous installment in the Conjuring timeline, is set to explore the last case that Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated. With some truth behind the franchise, this could lead to a genuinely interesting story. While the films are advertised to be based on truth, the actual true stories behind The Conjuring are much different. The films are some of the most compelling recent horror movies, and they feature incredible monsters and spirits that have never been proven to be real. However, the franchise's willingness to use both truth and fiction could help in this upcoming installment. The film's story, and the end for some of its characters, may be changed compared to how the real lives of Ed and Lorraine Warren played out. The Conjuring, Last Rites trailer is setting up the death of Ed or Lorraine Warren. The new trailer makes it clear this is their last case. The new trailer for The Conjuring, Last Rites has finally been released, and it gives the first look at the new film's story. The trailer begins slowly looking back, showing images of monsters that the pair have faced in their previous films, including Annabelle and the Nun. The title cards shown over the images increase the tension as the trailer plays, urging audiences to discover why this case was their last. This tagline suggests that the film could lead to the death of one of its lead characters. There is a shot in the trailer of Ed at a funeral, and the trailer goes out of its way to make it clear that tensions have been bubbling for some time. The teaser closes with a demonic voice letting Lorraine know it has been waiting so patiently for you. These scenes, especially when combined with how Ed's health has regressed in the recent sequels, suggest that the film could come to a truly dark ending point. Whether Ed or Lorraine, it now seems possible that at least one of the pair will die. Conjuring for ending the Warren story makes a major death more plausible. The film will be the last for the Warrens. Ending a franchise with a significant death has been a very common trope in movies. Many Marvel movies have killed off their heroes, and the same trick was done in the most recent James Bond film, ending the Daniel Craig era of the franchise. Following this example, it would make sense that Chavez might wish to give Last Rites an emotional and powerful ending with the death of one of its leads. Whether Lorraine or Ed, either loss would be a solid and sensible way to end this franchise with some powerful emotion. Many movie series have still continued after the death of their main character, and The Conjuring will likely persist in one way or another, even if Ed or Lorraine dies. The franchise is planning to make a Conjuring television series for Max as a way to continue its story, although there are few details about the show currently available, and it is unknown if it will follow the Warrens. Either way, The Conjuring will still likely continue with spin-offs, including more potential sequels for Annabelle. This may have to be done, however, without Ed and Lorraine. Conjuring, Last Rites killing Ed or Lorraine Warren wouldn't match their real lives. The real Ed and Lorraine died in 2006 and 2019 respectively. Because Ed and Lorraine Warren were real people, killing off their characters in a film set in the 1980s might not make much sense. In real life, Ed Warren passed away in 2006, while Lorraine lived until 2019. Changing this narrative for the upcoming film feels like it could be a strange thing to do, but the films have often played fast and loose with fact. Using the film's story as an opportunity to make the story of their deaths more thematically resonant could be a good idea. There have also been many movies that have changed true stories throughout the years, and this might make sense for Last Rites. The films have significantly changed the story of the Warrens across the first 3 Conjuring films and their spin-offs, and have reframed their acts of spiritual investigation to be much darker and more sensationalized than the true lives of Ed and Lorraine. Going a little bit further with this, and allowing at least one of these characters to meet a dramatic end in the new film, would be a perfect way to tie up the franchise. Will The Conjuring, Last Rites really kill either of the Warrens? Killing off real people prematurely might be a strange choice for the film. It's hard to say if Last Rites will actually kill off either of these characters in the upcoming film. While the films in the Conjuring universe have never felt rigid in telling the true stories that occurred, killing off one of these real people so much earlier would be a huge departure from reality. In real life, Ed and Lorraine Warren met peaceful ends, and changing that in the film could potentially be seen as disrespectful. Depending on the involvement of the Warrens' estate or remaining family to the film, this may not be a change that is worth doing. However, changing facts doesn't necessarily have to be disrespectful. There have been plenty of horror movies based on true stories that do not adhere completely to the facts of life. Whether these changes are made for dramatic, thematic, suspenseful, or narrative purposes, it doesn't always make sense for a film to follow the true story beat for beat. Still, seeing the story of these paranormal investigators end unhappily at the hands of one of the malevolent forces they face might be a little too much for the new movie to pull off satisfyingly. The story of Ed and Lorraine Warren is set to come to an end in The Conjuring, Last Rites, and it is certainly possible that one or both of the film's protagonists might not survive the events of the film. While this would be a heartbreaking way to close the story, that emotional weight could add significant power to the film's overall experience. Whether or not the Warrens survive, it will be worth seeing where their story goes, and specifically where they end up, when the fourth entry in the main saga is released in September 2025.